Hello, in this video I will try to explain to you why I find role-playing games so much fun and hopefully to get you to play them too. Now, role-playing is actually a thing that many people do. It used to be kind of taboo before, but now it is commonly accepted as a means of pastime and as something to make the familiar feel fresh again. I myself love the usual, as everyone does, but no matter how fun it is and exciting, repetition eventually becomes boredom. So if you want to put a fresh spin on things, you should buy yourself and your lady a costume and... wrong script. Just... Oh, here it is. Okay, where was I? Role-playing games are actually a quite fun way to escape your everyday life. It is usually differentiated from other games by the complex stories that your self-insert character goes through, making you feel like you're actually a meaningful member of that world. This is great when you want to pretend you are someone else for a change. I myself love to make characters and pretend that I am not a disappointment to everyone around me, and that I'm actually good at talking with women. Currently, there are many types of role-playing games, and it would take me too long to go through all of them, so I will just try and sum it up as much as I can. The two main differences are the regions where the games originate. Those are the Western RPGs and the Japanese RPGs. The differences should be quite obvious at first glance. Western RPGs are usually set in the medieval times where everyone is always going on about wenches and dragons, or just generally being racist towards elves. Besides that, you have the combat that used to be top-down, where you controlled many different characters that had fun chemistry between each other, all the while trying to prevent a world-ending threat. But nowadays, it's all about catering to the teenage demographic, which means that you get to go alone and be the special chosen demigod that everyone was waiting for to resolve literally all of their problems. I do have to confess that it is quite hilarious sometimes when the non-player characters note how you bested the mighty world-eating dragon, but right after that, they ask you to pick their turnips. But don't worry, it's not all about meaningless tasks. You even get to bang hot maidens that you just saved. In The Witcher 3, you could even say that it's your main motivation. You do have to appreciate a game that lets you get on with a witch while riding a unicorn. If that isn't your thing, don't worry, you can always go sci-fi with Mass Effect and bang hot blue bisexual aliens. There is something for everyone in the RPG market, but if you don't want to play hunky men or big bosomed broads, you always have the JRPGs to turn to. Many people turn to the JRPGs and say that they aren't as mature as their Western counterparts, and I would have to wholly disagree. I mean, yes, you usually get to play as prepubescent teenagers, learning about the power of love and friendship, and yes, it might sometimes play out like an episode of Sesame Street, and yes, they all look like what an edgy 14-year-old might think cool is like, but okay, I can't quite say that they are as mature, but they can be as fun nonetheless. The main noticeable difference from the Western RPGs is that the gameplay of the JRPGs is usually an open world with enemy encounters sprinkled all over it, and with the combat being turn-based. I myself never understood that part really. I mean, I get why it is like that from the functional side, but it never let me immerse myself into the game. What is keeping me from slicing their mage's nipples off with my 5-meter katana while he takes half a minute to cast a super powerful world-destroying spell? But if you can endure the repetitive combat, you will often be presented with quite a fun story that usually ends with a huge-ass plot twist. Something along the lines of you already being dead, or the main antagonist actually being the land that you're walking on. But don't worry, it all can be fixed with the power of love and friendship. Besides these two types of RPGs, there's a third type that I was not sure if I should talk about. In style, it can be confused with the prior two, but this one is much eviler. So, if you are of faint heart, do not go on. Okay, don't say I didn't warn you. The third type of RPGs are online ones. I would only recommend these to people that are bored of constantly role-playing by themselves in their rooms at night. And if you want to go and role-play where everyone can see you, you exhibitionist you. At first, they don't seem to be much different from the usual RPGs. You make your character, go out in the world and do quests to level up and upgrade your items, all the while interacting with other people. But don't let this fool you. These things are inherently evil. They will pull you in slowly and never let you go. After a while, every new item or level up will be just like a dopamine injection right into your brain, after which you will only start thinking about it and nothing else. After a while, you will start to neglect your normal chores and shun all real-life social interactions. It took me a lot of time to get out of that trap myself, but after a while and long rehabilitation process, I am allowed to actually be around other people. So, just another warning, think twice before you start one of these. Now, besides these three groups, there are many other RPGs, but they are usually focused on the action part instead of the role-playing aspect of the game. If this video made you want to play RPGs, I would recommend picking up Dragon Age Origins or the third Witcher game. In Origins, you follow a linear story in which you make decisions that affect the true future of the whole country. While in The Witcher, you get to play Sherlock Holmes in a fantasy setting or just have fun slicing and dicing numerous monsters around the map. So, in real life, just like in all good RPGs, it's all up to your choice. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.